In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the pre-flight panel and what it really means to export your work and to double check your work, because it's very easy when dealing with potentially hundreds of pages in InDesign to accidentally overset a frame or to misspell a bunch of words. I myself can't type to save me. Spell check saves my life. I'm sure you've seen spelling errors throughout this tutorial series. That's perfectly fine, but you need to be able to come back and find those errors. It's always important. So we're going to talk about the pre-flight panel first. The main thing I want you to check out is at the very bottom of your screen. Zoom way in, look at the very bottom. Do you see that little red thing that says 9 errors? That is your pre-flight panel. It is always on and it's always working down there for you. Now you can find this through Window and go to Output and then Pre-flight, and you'll see that panel right there. It'll tell you all of the errors that you have. So right here I can see that I have 9 text errors. Overset text on 9 separate frames throughout this document. And it'll tell you what page it's on. If you double click on it, it'll even show you where that error is. So one of your goals today is going to be to fix all of these errors. But before we get to that, let's look at some common errors that you tend to bump into as you're kind of exporting and going over. The first one is overset text, what we just saw, that little red plus symbol in the corner of your text. How you fix these is just making your frame a little bit larger or making your text a little bit smaller, making sure that you don't have invisible characters like extra spaces, because extra spaces still count. You may have incorrect color schemes, whether it be CMYK or RGB. If you are working for web, you're working with RGB. If you're working in print, it's CMYK. So it'll give you errors saying that you have the wrong colors depending on what you're trying to do. Spelling errors are a very common thing, and we want to not do that. InDesign has a spell checker. We'll make sure that's there. Other issues you may pop across, missing images. If your images are moved out of your root folder, then you're going to have a little stop sign that says your image is missing. You may have missing fonts. If your text looks pink, if there's a pink box around your text for some reason, you don't have that font on your computer. You need to go download that font, or you need to change the font that you're working with. Or non-proportional scaling. If you're moving images without holding shift to make sure it's proportional, it'll trigger on that as well. So there are a lot of basic issues that pop up all the time. You can set default presets to this, so it allows you to customize the rules that pre-flight triggers on. So you can add rules, you can subtract rules, you can kind of see what it does and kind of figure out what you want. So let's open up that pre-flight panel, go to Window, Output, Pre-flight. And one that's already set in here is called Digital Publishing. I just want you to lock eyes on that. That's always a good one to kind of go to if you need to. You can create your own if you would like to. But for the time being, let's just work with that one. So let's move down to our actual document today. And before we actually go into the pre-flight, I want to talk about a couple of small things just to make sure that we're aware of how some things work. What we have here is a table of contents for a magazine. And in this table of contents, we have all of these different shapes built out here. And these shapes are meant to hold images. So I just want to show you how you can put images into multiple shapes if you want to, instead of just into one single shape. So for example, if I were to grab these 4 frames right here, and I were to hit Command D to place an image, going into my folder for this project, Pre-flight Images, and I'm looking for the Fire Eater image. If I were to hit Open right here, it's not going to put it in all of them. It'll put it in one of them, right? I don't like that. I want to put it into all 4 of these shapes at once. So an easy trick to do, select the 4 that you want. Hold Shift, click on each one, and in your Properties panel, you'll find your Pathfinder down at the very bottom, or you can open your Pathfinder panel. I'm looking for the one that says Add. That's the very first one under Pathfinder. It'll combine these shapes, turning them into one single shape. Now, when I go back and place that Fire Eater image, it comes into all of those at once. I can scale that down. I can move that image around as if it was one single frame. I can rotate it if I want so that it looks nice and clean in that space. So I want you to experiment with this a little bit. The next 4, I want to put those 4 together as well, adding them together, Command D, and I'm going to look for the artist image, and I'm going to place her in there. And again, I can rotate if I want. You don't have to, but you certainly can. Rotate, I can scale it up to be bigger or smaller if I would like, so that it fits in there in a nicer way. See what you would like to do with that. The next 4 I'm going to grab are going to be my rock star. I'm going to put those together. Command D. I'm going to look for my musician right here and place that. Again, rotate, play around with it. See how you like that image and put it where you can see the main things that are going on, because that's very hard to do sometimes with these. You want to make sure you can see them. The next 4, I'm going to grab these 4 and put these together. Command D. This one I'm looking for the tattoo artist, placing that in there. And again, rotate that image as you would like so that you can see what's happening in that image. And then the last 4, I'm going to select those. I'm going to group those together using that Pathfinder, Command D. And this one I'm going to look for the DJ. And I'm going to place that DJ in there where I can see him nice and clear. Again, rotate the images as you need, blow up the image kind of however you want to. It's yours at the end of the day, make it yours. So just wanted to give that little tidbit because that's always something that comes up. How do I put this one image into multiple frames? You just have to use your Pathfinder to unite them. Now, I have added a lot of text to this. The font that I've used throughout this should be on your computer. It's called Arial. If you find yourself not having this font, go to Adobe Fonts and download Arial, or change all of this text to a different font. Myriad Pro would probably be the most closely comparable font to this. Now, I have added in a lot of issues here, a lot of them, and I want you to find them all. I'm going to go up to the top, selecting all of this stuff, and I'm going to go to Edit right off the bat, hit Spelling, check Spelling. So that's going to be the first thing. I want to see if everything's spelled in here correctly. I've taken out letters of words. I've added spaces into weird places. I want to see if you can find them all. So click on these, hit change if it's supposed to change, hit skip if it's perfectly fine like it is. So go through it and see if you can find all of those spelling errors. Now, I will tell you, if you go through it like I just did, just clicking change, 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 you're going to end up with bigger errors. You're going to end up with completely wrong words. So as it highlights, you need to zoom in and check the word that it's trying to say. If it's saying mirrors, you need to make sure that it's not saying something completely different. If there's a space right there, it might read that as 2 words and try to correct both of them. So see if you can find all those spelling errors in there. Double check, read through. That's key. Now, once you have all of those, go to your Preflight panel. And in your Preflight panel, you're going to notice a lot of overset text frames. Double click on them and they will show you where those text frames are. I want you to figure out why they're overset. Make that text frame bigger. Maybe this one right here under contents, somebody, me, hit return on that and dropped a line down and it's reading that extra space down there. Once you fix it, fix your frame, you should no longer have that plus symbol. There are 8 separate errors in here, and I want you to go find all of those overset pieces of text and fix those errors, making sure that everything is very visible. See if you can find it. I'm looking for 0 errors. All right, good. Once you have 0 errors in here, you should be good and ready to export. So Preflight is really all about exporting. You fixed your spelling errors. You fixed all your overset text. Let's go to the links panel real quick and look at what we have in there. Now, as a good piece of advice, and this does make your document a little bit bigger when you do it, I recommend selecting your images, right-click or control-click on it, and embedding your links into this image. That way, if this document is opened anywhere else, you still have it. So what we're going to look at next is how to save this, export this, turn this in to me or to a client that you may be working with. You're going to hit File Save first. You're going to save this document, or File Save As. Make sure you save as. You should be saving into a new folder. I'm going to save mine into a new folder so I don't mess up my documents here. And in this new folder, you should have your final version of what you're working on. Hit save. It'll save it into that folder. You now have it. You're not going to lose this file. We're going to go to File, Export, and under Export, we can do a number of things. It depends on what your client needs, right? If they need something that can be printed, something they're taking to a printer to print, they probably need an Adobe PDF print. If they are using this for a presentation and there are interactive features, you're going to want PDF Interactive. If you are publishing this online, you're probably going to need these EPUB options. So if you're making a book for somebody to sell online, you can make some HTML kind of website style here. The InDesign markup is a file that can be used through multiple versions of InDesign. So if this person doesn't have the 2026 version that we're working on, they can work on it using this file. JPEGs, that's a standard image, and PNG, just an invisible background. For this scenario today, I want the Adobe PDF print. So hit that one, please. Hit save, and you're going to get PDF options here. Now, we're going to make sure that we save this not as pages, because this isn't an individual page. This is a spread, 2 pages stuck together. So we're going to click on spread. We always want to view the PDF after we export. Check your work before you send it to anybody. And over on the left, we have an option here that says compression. We can alter how we compress this, making a smaller file size. Maybe our client hasn't paid us yet. We can change the colors here or lower the resolution so they can't just take it and go print it, right? Marks and bleeds. If they're sending it to a printer, that printer may want all the printer marks established, so they know where to cut, where the bleed ends, what colors you were using, and any information about the page. Output, advanced, you're seldom going to need these. I will point out that under security, there is a way to make this so that you need a password to open it. So if I click require a password right there, then whoever I send this to is going to have to type in this password to open it. And that can be good for secure files. If you want to make sure your files are secure, it's always a good way to be. I'm going to turn that off. But PDFs offer the most for you. So it's always recommended to go to PDF where optional. So when I've got that, I will hit export, and that's going to export a PDF. It will open it up for me when done. You can see it brought that first page because I didn't set a range of pages. I just had all pages. So I've got my PDF right here, and that's perfectly fine there. The last thing I want to do is package this. I want to package it so that another graphic designer could utilize this file in the future. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to look for the option that says Package down at the bottom. Now it's going to tell me if there are any issues in here. You can see it's saying there are 5 embedded images. They're all RGB. That's fine. Hit Package for me. It's going to ask you to save this document. Please do. So once you hit export, it's going to ask you where to save it. Make sure you know where you're saving it. It should be going into your root folder that you created for this. Now, when I hit package here, it's going to go ahead and package this entire thing. It's going to turn it into the files that I need. And just to double check what that looks like, if I go to my new folder, I now see this Preflight folder that it made. And what it's given me is the IDML. This means I can open this on any version of InDesign. The InDesign document, that's the actual one for 2026. There's very little difference between these two. You can utilize these kind of back and forth. The Preflight PDF, meaning it created a PDF for me. And it's also installed the fonts here for me, so I can download and install these fonts. Because as a designer, if I don't have those fonts, I get those pink boxes. There's a lot of benefits to packaging. I would put all of this together by compressing it into a zip file. And you'll notice that this looks very similar to what you downloaded for this assignment. A zip file holds everything in there that we're looking to use. So, Preflight is there to kind of read your document and figure out what you've done right and what you may have done wrong. It's there as a troubleshoot. Your spell checker, do not forget the spell check every time. So when you're doing it up here at the top, go to Edit, Spelling, check Spelling, Command I. Just use it a lot. You need it. I need it. We all need it. So that's your daily dose of design. If you found this helpful in any way, shape, or form, please like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment in there. I always love hearing back from you guys. Otherwise, we'll catch you in the next one.